can't stop the sun from shining. Whenever you're around me, the birds start.
Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. I decided to do a little video today on my thoughts about tarot cards. Even though I'm a tarot reader and I've been reading them for decades now, I don't know, maybe 4 decades, yeah, around that. And, you know, they do have a very useful place. I wanted to talk about this because I saw something a bit disturbing on YouTube this morning, and that was about people that are addicted to tarot cards, to buying lots and lots of decks of tarot cards. And I think I'm probably, you know, pretty qualified to talk about this because I actually used to sell tarot cards, lots and lots of different decks, okay? I never realised that people actually have a problem with it. And any form of addiction is a restriction on your own power. So it doesn't matter whether it's collecting tarot card decks or whatever you collect, or smoking or drinking or working or drugs, sex addiction. Any sort of addiction is a restriction on your power because you always need the power and the volition to be able to choose freely what you do in life, okay? So I thought, I think I better say something about this because it's fairly important. Now, I use a few decks, not because I need tarot cards or I like tarot cards or anything like that, but because for this medium on YouTube, live streaming, videoing, the same on any social media platform, it's really boring just looking at me all the time. So looking at tarot cards gives you something different to look at. So let's go to the board now. I will talk about the decks that I use. So this first one is a very pretty deck. It's the Voyager deck, and there's lots of bright coloured cards. That one's Devil's Play, which is very appropriate given that I've put Saturn in the background. Saturn loves structure, okay? It loves procedure. It loves rules. And a lot of people, when they first start off reading tarot, they get caught all up in that rules and, you know, this means this and this means that, and it can't be anything else. But that's exactly the opposite of what I encourage people to do. So Devil's Play, okay, that's your fears, okay? You're being motivated by some sort of fear to get the procedures right, to get it right, you know. So rather than just going with the flow and allowing whatever energy comes up from inside you, from your subconscious, sometimes we get caught up with, oh, I want to do it right, you know, I don't want to make a mistake and all that sort of thing. So that's very appropriate. This deck here are the cards. This has got a very long story, but it took me 6 years to find the artist that designed these cards, and he's in another country, in one of the Russian countries or ex-Russian countries, and I've got permission now to reproduce these cards, but I haven't done it yet. So those people who ask, which there are a lot of people who ask about these cards, it is on my project list to develop these cards and sell them, and we'll get there eventually, okay? Maybe not develop them so much, I just have to sort of design a few things, you know, but to actually get them up for sale. This card here is the one I use for the Divine Daily Message. It's the Morgan Greer. I use this card, this deck, because they're very bright cards and they stand out so people can see them on YouTube. The ones that I've had for probably again 4 decades are these psychological cards where you put one in front of the other like that, and you've got a background card and a foreground card, and I use those for the Transformation Oracle readings that I do once a month, okay? And they're not tarot they're not a tarot deck as such, but they're more about going within and helping you to manage your own energies, okay? So the ones that I really like are these ones here, which will be the ones that we're selling, and these ones here, okay? So That's it. So I don't recommend that you buy lots and lots of decks. So, you know, it's a waste of money in a sense, because what I'm recommending to you is that you go down deep inside yourself and you learn how to go with the flow of the energy, what your soul is trying to say, you know, what is the message the person needs to hear. And it's always good practice to have a bit of a preparation time before you do a reading, so that you can get the very best that, you know, message that you can get, that you can receive. You can be a crystal clear channel for upstairs to come through. Okay, so I just wanted to say, if you are learning tarot, or even if you're a professional tarot reader, how important it is not to get sidetracked by the decks, but to go with the flow of your own soul. Okay, and I do feel sort of uniquely qualified to talk about that, because on the Absolute Soul Secrets network we have over 70 readers, and they all have to go through a 3-stage interview process where they do readings, and lastly the final stage is they come to me. So I've had literally thousands of readings in my life, literally, and I've literally done tens of thousands of readings in my life. So I do feel that relying on tarot cards is not a good idea, but using tarot cards as an adjunct to your own natural abilities is an excellent idea. So I just wanted to clarify that. People do ask me about these sorts of things all the time, and especially if you're young, you know, if you say in your 20s or 30s, or you haven't been doing it very long, it can be a bit overwhelming knowing what you should do in terms of your equipment and your toolkit, what you should have in your toolkit. I probably have about another 10 decks floating around, I don't know, in different rooms or cupboards or somewhere. I actually have a separate office for the Absolute Soul Secrets network, and there's probably multiple decks down there. You know, that's why I don't even know where they are, because I don't rely on tarot. Tarot is excellent for adding it into what you already do, and it's been around for thousands of years. It relies on the principle of randomization. So because it's completely random when you shuffle a deck as to what card is going to come up, you can do what I do and have a little vision before, if you're clairvoyant that is, have a little vision before you turn the card over, as I frequently do in my videos here on YouTube. So that's what you need to develop in yourself. So, and it's funny, you know, people can read all sorts of things. You know, we once had a lady ring up and she wanted to work with us, and we asked her how she worked, and what she used to do is get people to send pictures, photos of their bottoms. This is serious. This is a serious interview that I did. Pictures of their bottoms, and she would read the bumps on their bottom. Okay, so if you've got a lot of cellulite, you're going to have a longer reading, I guess. And so you can read anything. You can throw down some rocks on the ground, walk along the river, read river stones, look up in the sky, read the clouds, read the blades of grass, read the patterns on your cat's fur. It's where you see, this is where the secret comes into good reading. It's seeing patterns in random objects, and humans are actually hardwired to do that. So when you see the pattern, then making sense of the pattern and giving that message to the persons in a way that makes sense to them, okay? Because it's not about you, it's about putting it in a way that that person can digest it and act on it, okay? So sometimes we have to change our language to do that. If we're speaking to a very educated person, we might talk in one way. If we're speaking to somebody who doesn't have formal education, that's okay too. You put it in the language that they understand, while still connecting with spirit and getting the integrity of the spiritual message across. Okay, so they're my thoughts. Hope this makes sense to you. I just thought I'd better point it out because it's a bit concerning that people can get addicted to tarot readings or buying decks of cards. Find the answer in yourself. The best psychic reading or tarot reading is the one that confirms what you already know. Okay, have a lovely day and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.